Wonderful. And good morning to everyone. Welcome to Unity of Wichita and our live experience Sunday morning on Zoom and live on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Patty Yoon. I will be your platform leader today. We have Virginia Patry as our musical arts director. Eleanor Ferris will be sharing our meditation and affirmations. Art Handy will be sharing the prayers, and we have Paul Hasselback sharing today's message. So let's give them all a hand. Yay! That is fantastic. And always, we have Sam Jones behind the scenes sharing our Zoom experience with us, our Zoom wizard. Our greatest desire is that you are inspired in some way by the music, the message, the meditation of today's service. You are a blessing to us. And so we are so grateful that you are here joining us. And this is the month of zeal. And zeal is the ability to be enthusiastic and passionate, as well as to inspire and to motivate oneself. So with that power of zeal, let's say our mission statement together. To inspire spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of zeal of this month, let's say our statement of being together. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Again, we want to thank everyone who is watching here today, our service live. We especially want to welcome anyone who is here for the very first time. We welcome you, and we are honored to have you join us this morning. And we hope that you are blessed by today's service and that we will soon get to meet you in person. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in person very soon. Unity is a worldwide ministry dedicated to the ongoing awareness of the Spirit within all. We invite you to consider our teachings if they work for you, fit into your life, wherever you are in your spiritual journey. Just go ahead and take in what works for you and gently release the rest. And we will now bless everyone who is watching. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. And we will now have our first song. Thank you.
Who you really Good morning, Unity of Wichita. Good morning, good morning. We will now move into the more contemplative part of our service, starting with prayer. And certainly we can definitely use prayer in our world today. Prayer is a very integral part of our spiritual lives. And I just really invite everyone to really be open to adopting a very robust, zeal-filled prayer practice, as it allows us to really be grounded in the truth of who we are. And it makes us have the ability to really manifest wonderful and beautiful things in our world. So we definitely want to lift up our spiritual community, Unity of Wichita, and hold each and every person that is connected with our community in the light, and each and every person who may be watching this particular service, and really hold our world in the light, our leaders in the light, in each and everywhere where living beings can be found. Just want to really lift everyone and all beings up. So at this time, I would invite each and every one of us to just get relaxed where we are. You may want to take a deep breath and really allow our minds and our hearts to expand and embrace the awareness that divinity is present right where we are. God is wholly and completely present right where we are. This knowing gives us a sense of gratitude and thanksgiving, knowing that we're not alone. And we affirm the fact that each and every one of us are divine access points of the universe, divine access points to the universe. Yes, we are the universe, uniquely expressing as each and every one of us. And we affirm this knowing for all beings. And we affirm all that this knowing entails. We are access points for infinite love, access points for divine ideas, access points for the infinite substance of which there is no lack and no limitation. Infinite access points for wisdom and understanding. Really feel this now and really know this now. Really affirm this truth, not only for ourselves, but for all beings. And we embrace now what this knowing entails. We embrace the fact that places in the world where there is harmony and thanksgiving and happiness, we affirm the divine presence, fortifying and magnifying this sense of happiness and thanksgiving. In the places in the world where the world is hurting, we affirm this presence as a comforting, soothing presence, as a presence of divine ideas that flow forth as solutions, that flow forth as healing. We affirm this now. We hold our leaders in prayer, knowing wisdom and understanding and grounding for each and every person and for all beings. We affirm this divine presence, showing up as peace, as freedom, as prosperity, and as healing. We know this, we feel this, we are definitely aware of this. And we are so grateful for this knowing, so grateful for all that this knowing entails. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other.
Good morning, friends. Oh, Virginia moves me like I know she moves us all. There's a union we can feel. I'm so grateful for her presence. Our affirmations this morning. I trust my divinity in this state of humanity. I trust my divinity in this state of humanity. I am whole, engaged, and creating life. I am whole, engaged, and creating life. We are life expressing in harmony. We are life expressing in harmony. I cannot be alone in this symphony of spirit. I cannot be alone in this symphony of spirit. We are the I am. We are the I am. And so I invite you now, if you aren't already comfortable and comforted and soothed, to relax. Drop those shoulders. Relax as we breathe together the breath of life. The breath that sparks in each of us is simultaneously that breath we share. As we relax into our chair, I invite you to let the clutter fall away. Your ego knows the clutter. We're moving from ego to heart as we release. Mentally sweep. And when the thoughts come, we welcome them because they are us. And we release them because we are the divine. I invite you now to feel your feet grounded in this world, this physical plane, this human shell. I invite you now to engage again with that ego and call forth for yourself a challenge. There's vulnerability here. Be honest with yourself. Now think with me and know with me that in the times of perceived challenge, perceived fear, The truth of it is simply wonder. Wonder. The unknowing does not equal challenge. We are filled with zealous wonder at the maybes, at the possibilities, the synchronicities and miracles that we create. There is freedom, freedom from that perceived challenge. Words mean things, and to dismiss or change and be able to evolve and move into the knowing that nothing and no one is against you. That challenge, you're making it up. It's not the truth of you. The truth of you is divine and clear. There's a clarion call that pulls at your heartstrings, reminding you the truth that you are. And the truth is that we are one, and therefore nothing and no one can be against us. For we are the creators of life. We are the creators of love. With our breath, this breath we share. Breathe into the divinity within you. You can trust it. It's the power of faith. And so together with the power of faith and zeal, that however you express in this symphony is perfect. Faith and zeal will carry us through the breath. And as we breathe together, align our spines, bring our awareness back into this human shell, back into this worldly plane where we express perfect life together. And so in the name and the nature of the Christ that is us, we say together, Namaste.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that kept me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am kinder every moment, every day. And I surrender every moment, every day.
Wonderful. Isn't it wonderful to have Virginia here and with us? I love it. So as you guys know, Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck is going to be here giving us the special message today. But what you may not be aware of is that he is serving Unity of Wichita in such a big way. And that is, he has signed on to be the minister of record at Unity of Wichita. And what that means is that while we are in this process where I and Art are serving as the co-spiritual leaders at Unity, we have the wisdom, the support, and the mentorship that comes with the minister of record, and that being Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. I don't know how we could have asked for anything better. So as we move into this new phase of what we're doing as a community, I invite you to join me in welcoming Paul with the biggest love and the biggest joy, because you know what? I missed him and his joy and his presence. And the one thing that whenever we get a chance to be together again, and you're walking down the hall and you see Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck and you say, good morning. And he says, good morning. It's a beautiful day in my consciousness. We get to celebrate that with him in such a special way as a community. So without further ado, welcome Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck, Minister of Record at Unity of Wichita.
Hi, everybody. I feel like I should say, I'm back. And indeed, I'm happy to be back. And I'm happy to be here today in my first monthly talk I'll be giving and sharing with your wonderful spiritual community. And so I like to start out with this slide because you get an idea of the setup in my second bedroom. And I'm kind of welcoming you into my home. And I had one mentor who said to me, Paul, if a person isn't welcome in your home, how do you know that they know they're welcome in your heart? And that was such a profound statement. And so I'm behind the lights. And for you, you get to see it without all of that. And so let's get romping. Let me see, apparently, there we go. So as always, when I speak, I want you to relax. My slides are available. I will also send them to Samantha in both PowerPoint and PDF. And if you want, you can get your camera out and you can take pictures of my slides because as usual, I have things on them that I think that you'll find helpful. Okay, so this talk is Metaphysics for Abnormal Times, and let's get romping. So this is what I want you to know this morning. You are amazingly powerful. You are more powerful than you ever imagined. And even so, I want to share a couple things about fear that I hope will help you context it in a way that it's useful rather than not useful. And then we're in this long haul, aren't we? And it keeps extending, and we can just be with that. And so I thought I would share one of my spiritual practices, or maybe even remind you of it, of how we can use our threefold nature during this long haul. So first of all, this is one of those basic unity premises, that it's an error that we live from the outside in. And when we let the outside world manage us, we're in victim consciousness. If we think the world and people and things are doing things to us, we're in victim consciousness and we're in a state of powerlessness. And so in unity, the truth is we live from the inside out. And when we remember that there's no thing, no person, nothing on the outside that can cause you to think or feel anything, you step into your power. And we call personal power victor consciousness. And we call universal power verity consciousness. And so, yes, you are powerful. And I'm going to share with you why. You've heard me say this before, and it requires repeating, and remembering and remembering. So in the Revealing Word, this is how Charles Fillmore defined the ego. And remember, in Fillmore's mind and mine, the ego is not all bad. Sure, we have adverse parts, but it's not all bad. So this is what he said. The ego is man, and by reason of his divinity, he makes and remakes as he wills. By reason of the ego's divinity, by reason of your divinity, you make and remake as you will. And while you may not be fully aware of the entirety of your divinity, it's right there at the point of view, because we say God is omnipresence. God is everywhere present, we could say. And you know, there's no absence in presence. And so what is really, really important here to remember and to let go of what the things we've been told, that we're a piece of the divine, that we're a part of the divine, that we're an expression of the divine, that we're a wave in the divine. The divine can never be separated into parts or pieces. And so the entirety of your divinity is right there at the point of view. And then Charles also said, through the door of the ego's consciousness must pass all the treasures of God. And I would say through the door of the ego's conscious awareness must pass all the treasures of God. And what are the treasures of God? Well, they happen to be the principles and laws. The principles and the laws. Now we know principles as other names like divine ideas, or in the case of the 12 divine ideas of the 12 powers, we call them powers. They're all the same thing. And all of them are right there at the point of view. The more you become aware of, the more you can use. And then let's remember this quote from Jesus. All authority hath been given unto me in heaven and on earth. And I'd like to submit to you, as I agree with Charles Fillmore, that one of the things we can do to grow more fully in expressing our divinity is to affirm the exact same things that Jesus, our way shower, affirmed. All authority hath been given unto me in heaven on earth. Join me in knowing that now. All authority hath been given unto me in heaven and earth. And so let's amp that up a little bit. Heaven is the realm of pure ideas, while the earth is the realm of thought forms. We're not talking about a heaven way out there somewhere where you will eventually go. We're not talking about the physical earth. We're talking about the realm of pure ideas and the realm of thought forms. And I would amp that up, the realm of thought and feeling forms. And so now we can we can metaphysically interpret that and say, all authority hath been given unto me in the realm of ideas and the realm of thought forms. Let's say that together. And I left out a word, so let's make sure we get in there. All authority hath been given unto me in the realm of ideas and realm of thought forms. In fact, Charles said, you are, I am, we are the master of divine ideas. So this brings up the point, we are fully human and fully divine. We are fully divine and we are fully human. And I love this little cartoon down there with baby Jesus walking on the water in his bathtub. So now that you know you're powerful, how can we handle fear? And in the last few months, I've come to realize that what I've been taught about fear, I think is wrong. So what we're going to do is use fear to remind ourselves of love. What? You might be saying, has Paul lost his mind again? Was there any more to be lost? Well, take a look. So many, many years ago, I was a student in the Course in Miracles, and this is a quote I remembered, and I loved it. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. One is false, for it was made out of denial, and denial depends on the belief in what is denied for its own existence. And if you're doing what I did when I first learned it, I went, what in the world is that saying? And I soon realized that while the Course in Miracles has some wonderful teachings, you got to really dig in, because often it uses vague terms to refer back to specific things. It uses pronouns instead of the noun that would make it more understandable. So here's what I did. I inserted the nouns. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. Fear is false, for fear was made out of the denial of love. Therefore, fear depends on the belief in love for its own existence. Therefore, fear depends on the belief in love for its own existence. And however, what I want you to know is unanswered questions are far less dangerous than unquestioned answers. And this is an answer that fear and love are the only two emotions we're capable, and that fear was made to hide love's presence are two answers that I began to question just a few months ago. I just had one of those, moments. And so are we only capable of love and fear? Well, I think there's a spectrum, and many of them are come under love and come under fear. Is fear the opposite of love? I'm beginning to think no. Is fear all bad? Well, no, there's healthy fear. And do we really make fear to hide love? And I finally came to the conclusion that the answer is no. I say we are afraid because we love. Did you hear that? We are afraid because we love. We're not afraid to hide love's presence. We are afraid because we love. I'm afraid when one of my possessions might be damaged in some way or might be stolen. I'm afraid when a friend or a relative might be in danger. I'm afraid for them. And I'm afraid when I think something might be happening to myself, whether real or imagined. And so I noticed that when I'm afraid, it's because I'm either loving myself, loving others, loving places or events. Just think how fearful those people were, or even are, in California about the wildfires. In a place they love and their homes they love, and their friends and families were threatened. Same thing about what's happening in Louisiana with the Hurricane Delta passing through. So I think we have to let go all of that stuff, that love and fear are opposite. I think we're afraid because we love. And friends, it's not all bad. And so here's my hint. Next time you're afraid, ask yourself, what is it I am loving at this moment? And if you're one of those who have ever said, oh, it's easy to love others and it's hard to love myself, notice when you're afraid for your own well-being. Because friends, that is evidence you love yourself. Okay, so let me go all scientific on you here. You know, I have a science background. Fear and the autonomic nervous system. Now, you don't have to get into that picture below. I was just putting it up there to show you that our autonomic nervous system, that part of our nervous system that happens automatically, has two sides. And it's important for us to know that in regards to fear, because one part controls the fight, flight, or freeze response. We could add another one today because science has shown us that there's actually the please response. So fight, flight, freeze, or please response. And when that response is triggered from parts of our brain, we release biochemicals in our body that sets us up to fight, flight, freeze, or please. And those same chemicals restrict capillaries in our bodies in areas that are not necessarily needed for those responses. And one of those places is our frontal lobes, our higher thinking center. And haven't you noticed that when somebody's in that fight, flight, or freeze mode, they're not thinking so clearly? Or maybe you've noticed that about yourself. I certainly have. And when those higher thinking centers go offline, we do things that are not so good for ourselves. However, this other half counteracts that. It controls what's called the calm and connect response. And the calm and connect releases different biochemistry that counteracts the negative biochemistry, or the biochemistry of fight, flight, or freeze, neutralizes it. So our higher thinking centers can come back online. And we can operate more logically, more calmly, and connect, actually reconnect. Because when we're in fight, flight, freeze, or please, we're really kind of in an awareness or perception of disconnect. And one of the ways to activate that calm and connect side of the parasympathetic system is called 4-7-8 breathing. 4-7-8 breathing. Many have heard of this, but it's good to remember it. So what this does is if you breathe this way 3 or more times, your body must release those chemicals to counteract that fight, flight, or freeze response. So here it is. We breathe in deeply to a count of 4. We hold it to a count of 7, and we breathe out through pursed lips to a count of 8, just like that baby's doing. Now, it's important that you breathe in deeply so you can hold it for up to 7 seconds, but don't hold it beyond what you're comfortable with, because that'll get you activating the other side. And you just do it 4 times. You breathe in to a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 7, you breathe out to a count of 8. Next time, at that very indicator that you're aware that you're starting to move into fight, flight, or freeze, activate the other side by doing this calm and connect breathing. Remember, you're fully human and you're fully divine. And finally, this long haul, this long extended time that right now we really don't know when it's going to end. So how can we be in it now in the present? Well, we have a threefold nature. We're divine, we're mind or consciousness, and we're body. The divinity is that's where you're fully divine, and your humanity is your mind and body. So here's a spiritual practice that I practice nearly every day. What am I going to do today to take care of my body? And that's not with any judgment of my body. I'm just simply asking, what am I going to do to take care of my body? And that can be, what am I going to eat? Am I going to exercise? If I'm going to exercise, how specifically am I going to exercise? And then for your mind, what am I going to do today to take care of my mind? Your consciousness, which includes both your thinking and feeling natures, because thinking and feeling in your consciousness, in your awareness, come together. One does not cause the other, though it may seem that way. So some of the things you can do is inspirational reading. Some of you maybe like the daily word. Other, maybe reading my absolute word, which I write every week, and reading it every day till you have that affirmation nailed during a 7-day period. And of course, meditation and prayer. And in fact, meditation and prayer are two practices that help your body, help your mind, and help you with this third piece. What am I going to do today to take care to remember my divinity? What are you doing every day to take care to remember your divinity? See, your divinity doesn't need to be taken care of. It doesn't change. It remains the same. And because it remains the same, it is utterly and completely dependable. But we have to remember our divinity because it's easy for us to get outer focused, and we want to be living consciously from the inside out. So make sure you have some sort of meditation and prayer practice every day. And this, my friends, helps me to get through this long haul. And so you are powerful. Remember, as soon as you notice fear, ask yourself, what am I loving at this moment? Because love is where fear starts, because fear is a response because we love. Remember to use 4, 7, 8 breathing. And remember, do something every day that supports your body, that supports your mind and consciousness. You know, even though I do it here, our consciousness isn't our brain. It's a field. And take care to remember every day your divinity. And so, friends, that's metaphysics for abnormal times. And if you act normally, the times won't be so abnormal. Make it another beautiful day in your consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We are certainly blessed and spiritually fed here at Unity of Wichita by the message, the music, the meditation, and by love. It is so great to come together to do this. So please consider giving a tithe or an offering this morning. You can give a secure financial gift to Unity at www.unityofwichita.org/donations. Or you can send a check directly to the church at Unity of Wichita at the address on your screen. Whatever amount you are guided to give today, let's just visualize your electronic tithe or your check and think of it over your heart and bless it with your love. And please join us together in our offering blessing. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Amen.